Hey, it's your pal Terry Bean coming at you with another fun episode of Business Growth Time. Today, we're going to take a little left turn and we're going to do a little shout out and a little thank you to our listeners. We really appreciate you, Ernie. It's been a great ride. Janet, how long have we been on this ride now?
I looked at the testimonials that we have on iTunes. That's what we're going to talk today about. It was 2016 were the first ones.
2016. So at least 5 years, because I remember it being like a February or March kind of thing. Mike O'Neill, as you may recall, was our very first guest. I know Daphne Mickelson,
Yep.
Janae was
Yep.
very early on. Kevin Crayson and Steve Sadler were all super early folks in the show notes. So we'll have to go take a look. And it was fun because that was technically episode one for me, but it was like episode 40-ish, 42
Yeah.
or three for you. And we just mentioned Lisa Celine.
I know. Isn't that funny? Oh yeah. And then now that I'm working with her team, she's been sending the puppet off, and I'm like, stop the puppet. Let's not talk the puppet anymore.
Kimmy, Kimmy, Kimmy. Kimmy
Yeah,
has
and
way better hair than I
it's
do.
it's funny. I actually don't care that much, but it is out on the World Wide Web still. If you Google social media puppet, Kimmy, the social media puppet, you will find those first videos, and they are entertaining. But they're not meant for a podcast, and that's the funny thing. Like we were just talking, we record this on video,
We do.
but the podcast isn't for, you're not watching a podcast, you're listening to it. So a puppet really did make a lot of sense in reality. But you know what? We all live, learn, and fail and succeed. And,
That's
so
right. Fail faster, fail
yeah.
faster. So you kind of teed it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about some of the reviews. It's funny, you sent this to me I don't know, last week, earlier this week, whatever it was, and I'd never even knew we had reviews. So it was nice to see that not only do we have them, but there's like over 20 of them and they're all 5 star, like all of them, 23 5-star reviews. So do you have one in mind that you'd like to read and thank someone?
No, I don't have a specific. As we know, the interesting thing is Terry and I just were discussing that it's a lot of people that we don't know. It's about half, I'd say half and half. When we first launched the podcast, you really wanted to get reviews. That helps you get into the higher rankings on iTunes. So we did, ask friends and family, that kind of thing, to do some reviews. But the recent ones are interesting. No, I mean, this one is interesting. This is the most recent one. And the funny thing is, there's no name on it. The name of the person is Son of the Most High God. Okay.
Perfect.
So this one says, great show. I'm a business owner, and this podcast has been a godsend. The content is relevant and easy to consume. Amazing stuff to implement for an entrepreneur like myself. Highly recommend. So,
Love that.
and I would say we keep up with the content. We don't, we keep up with the times. That's definitely something we've been doing all along. So that was a really good one.
For sure. That's why we have good podcasts on Blab. and virtual reality and all kinds of interesting back catalog
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Oh yeah. We used to talk about Google. Google Plus, wasn't it Google
Google
Plus?
Plus and
We
Google
used Google Hangouts
Hangouts.
originally. Oh yeah,
That's
we
right.
definitely changed with the time.
We were we've been down since day one. We haven't done, although you talked about it once, right? Weren't you doing TikTok, or was it the other one? What was the other short video service that you had gotten into a little bit?
That's a good question.
It
Well,
it might have been TikTok, and it was
I
just
think I
early
did a
on.
little bit. No, Periscope.
Oh yeah, well that was a given. That was a hot topic for a minute. Oh my
Yep.
gosh! And
Yep.
for whatever reason, neither one of us jumped on the Meerkat bandwagon, but
Nope.
Periscope was
Nope.
where it was
Nope.
at.
But now it's Clubhouse. But Clubhouse to me has came and went too.
Oh,
That's my opinion. We could do a whole show on that, but just for me personally, I decided that it's not my thing.
They just opened up for Android in the last week, so I could finally get on Clubhouse. In fact, I got invited by a guy named Thomas Power to be on his show to talk about networking. He's got 70,000 people that pay attention. So I figure if I'm going to jump on Clubhouse eventually, I should do a show where there's going to be 70,000 people paying attention.
I
So
agree with you there. Yeah.
uh,
If somebody has built a big audience, and same with Bonnie Frank, she's built a really big audience fast and she really focused there. So,
mhm.
that we could do a whole show about that. But bottom line is Clubhouse is for some and it's not for some,
That's
It's
the
one of those things.
today thing, though. That's where all the cool kids are in the middle of 2021.
Yep.
Let me jump back. Let me read this one. I don't know
Okay.
who the Baker with two R team Baker team is, but this is old school. I'm going back all the way to 2016, and it said business podcast. This is the first review I've written because I cannot believe how useful this podcast has been. That's just really cool. I love that. I'm just thankful for that. That's a neat thing to hear.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know who that is either. So that's always fun to see
There's a
also.
there's so many of these. And then I'm gonna pick one from my friend Kristen
Okay.
Wolo because she's super cool. And she was actually a guest early on. This is another one from 16, but it's still relevant. And I think this kind of summarizes the show. I love this show and this dynamic duo. Janet is beyond knowledgeable and Terry is extremely witty. Both are brilliant in providing benchmark content to help business owners and up and coming entrepreneurs grow their business. And if I were to try and say what we're about, wouldn't
Yeah,
you think that's kind of it? Right? That's kind of like encapsulates it. I'm dumb but kind of funny. You're really smart, and that's what we do. That's isn't that kind of the show?
some days, some days. That's great. That's great.
So it's no, it's been a great ride. But that's what we're doing here, right? We're trying to help business owners stay ahead of the curve or at least keep up with it,
Yeah,
give them tips, tricks, ideas, hacks to be able to grow their business, whether it's online or through real world networking. And it's been a pleasure that for us that you allow us into your ears, into your headspace.
that's very good point. Yeah, and I love that one was really actually right to the point. And that person you can tell actually listened to the show because some people write reviews and they haven't listened to it. So
It's true.
here's
That is
another
true.
one that this is somebody that obviously listened to. It's MICH Shores. So I'm not sure if it's Michelle or Michael. It's hard to say.
Or
Um,
Michigan. Ooh.
Oh, good point. Good point. Probably is a Michigan person. So the funny thing is the title says just do it because I've said that a lot.
Hmm.
Janet and Terry provide very common sense and current topics that any business can benefit. The reminder that these two drive home is to execute your idea, whatever it is. As Janet would say, just do it.
That's it. I love
And
it.
Nike would say it too. Okay.
Well, you guys are very similar, you and Nike.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost it's really hard to separate the two
Yeah,
sometimes.
I do. I should have worn my shirt if I'd known I'd read that. I do have a Just Do It shirt. I had to buy it because,
Well, it's awesome. Well, I love it. I love it. I don't want to sit here and like, self-congratulatory, but it was kind of neat to see that and to see that people not only like the show but took the time to share. And we're hopeful that if you're listening and have gone through the 157-ish episodes that we've got out there, and you liked any of them or had something to share, uh, tell us. We'd love to hear
we'd
about it.
love to hear. Yep,
Doesn't have to be a
exactly.
review. Just send us a note, right? We're easy. We'd love to
Reach out
hear
on
about it.
Instagram. For me, it's probably Instagram. For Terry, it'd be LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Reach out to us. Let us know. And yes, of course, we would love an iTunes review too, because that stays on the World Wide Web for a really long time. So that's fantastic also.
True
We
story.
appreciate you guys, you Ernies. If you don't understand, if you haven't been listening for a long time, we started with calling our audience Ernie. And Terry, let's finish with why did we start that in the first place?
It's funny because I didn't do our typical intro where I properly introduce you with the Janet E.
Oh, we
Johnson.
did not. Yeah.
I didn't. Maybe we're out of practice. I don't know.
We are.
That's could be. It's so um about 148 times I've introduced Janet E. Johnson and had to come up with a different and unique E word. And at one point, Ralph Rivera and
Yeah.
Carol were guests on the show, or maybe even 2 points, but they have this great nickname for their audience. And we're like, why don't we have a nickname for our audience? And so it was only natural that it would be an E name. And Eunice, which is, I still believe is actually your middle name, might have been taken. No, it's not your middle name. So we decided to go with Ernie.
Ernie. Well, my middle name definitely ain't Ernie. So
It seems safe. I wanted to be sure that we were covered.
all right. Well, awesome. Well, everybody can reach out to us. Like we said, Facebook, LinkedIn. That's a great way. And if you want to hear any of those past episodes, it's just businessgrowthtime.com/podcast or /blog. Pretty easy.
And both
Just
there.
go to our blog on businessgrowthtime.com. And then you can also join our group, businessgrowthtime.xyz yeah, that's it.
That's right. You nailed it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I see we're out of practice.
You're out of practice.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.